I'm a dual, sex CEO who got himself a poor college guy. 5 years later, he climbed to the top by stepping on me, and now he's getting ideas. After his white moonlight came back to the country, I heard him complaining to his friends. These past years I've been working non-stop. I'm honestly sick and tired of all the ass kissing. So I turned around and found his white moonlight. Here's your chance to be my lapdog. I didn't expect the white moonlight to be so easy to hook his eyes when red with desire. Am I the only one you'll serve? Or can others get a taste too? I sneered. Just nod your head, and you'll be the head dog. Never expected that same night, the white moonlight, and I got caught at the hotel. Wow, the college guy looked completely broken, begging pathetically. Could he have me Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the other guy Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? I'm the Qing family here. Apart from being intersex, everything's been smooth sailing my whole life, until adulthood, when desire would surge like tides in the deep of night. At my level, problems money can solve aren't really problems. I immediately had someone pick out a male college student for me. Requirement 6'3", handsome, no dating history, not picky about food, no attitude. Mr. Qin, are you picking out a dog? In the end, Luang beat out 99 other dogs and came out on top. For 5 years, he kept his head down and served diligently, and I generously gave him resources and money in return. Step by step, Luang used me as a stepping stone into high society, even becoming my equal. Last month, I was swamped with work and neglected him. Today's his birthday, so I specially picked out sapphire cufflinks to make it up to him. Just as I put my hand on the door, I heard a familiar voice from inside the private room. Qing Liang has such high needs and demands. I'm honestly scared. These past years I've been working non-stop. I'm honestly sick and tired of all the ass kissing. Raised a dog for years, only to get bitten by it. My first reaction wasn't anger. I actually laughed. Luang should think about it. Back when his family went bankrupt, and he had nothing, who did he rely on to climb to where he is today? A vein throbbed at my temple. I loosened my tie, rolled up my sleeves, and was about to kick the door down. Then I heard them discussing how Han Guanyin had returned to the country. I pulled back my half-raised foot. He's a lot of people's white moonlight, good, looking and capable, and he's not arrogant either. Way better tempered than Qing Liang. The door crack was too narrow to hear everything clearly, but I caught his vague. Sai Han Guanyin, he's finally back. Luang, I remember you and Han Guanyin went to the same university. He wouldn't happen to be a white moonlight too, would he? How does Han Guanyin compare to Qin Liang? Luang actually knows Han Guanyin. I'd never heard him mention it before. The only time was when I had a collaboration project with the Han family. Luang unusually asked me who the project manager was. Only after hearing it wasn't Han Guanyin, but Han Guanyin's sister, did he relax. I peered through the door crack. Luang said with extreme disgust, "Don't put Qin Liang and Han Guanyin's names together. It sounds revolting." Revolting? I bit my tongue tip, and a metallic taste spread through my mouth. 5 years together, and this is the evaluation I get. In front of his white moonlight, I'm apparently worse than garbage. Luang, well done. All these years, no one's dared to slap me in the face like this. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath, handed the cufflinks to a nearby server, and strode away. White moonlight, ha! I'll see just what makes this white moonlight so special. I quickly met Han Guanyin at a bar. Handsome and fair-skinned, broad shoulders and long legs, a typical wealthy young master. The watch on his wrist cost more than most people make in a lifetime. Every movement radiated casual indifference, like he could walk through a field of flowers without a single petal sticking to him. If Luang was a mixed breed mutt from the sticks, then Han Guanyin was a purebred Czech wolf dog. Someone noticed me staring at him intently, and immediately got the wrong idea. Mr. Qin, Han Guanyin's not easy to mess with. No one who's tried to sleep with him has succeeded. Don't talk nonsense. Everyone knows young Master Qin has a little wolf dog at home, and has stayed faithful for years. The past is the past, now is now. The liquor slid down my throat, burning my skin hot. As I kept watching, my intention to cause trouble changed flavor. Luang and I had been apart too long. I hadn't had release in ages. Everywhere I looked, people were grinding against each other in intimate dances. Work stress has been intense lately. The tension in my body was wounded to the breaking point. I desperately needed some fun. Someone as high and mighty as Han Guanyin. I wonder if he knows how to serve, how strong he is. Through the neon lights, Han Guanyin turned and met my gaze. The air froze for a second. Han Guanyin walked through the crowd toward me and stopped. I just lost at truth or dare, and have to pick someone for a 10-second kiss. Up close, I could see he had a small red mole at the corner of his left eye. Very seductive when he smiled. From certain angles, Han Guanyin and I actually looked somewhat alike. My feelings were complicated. Could Luang have been using me as a substitute for Han Guanyin? Han Guanyin leaned in and whispered in my ear, "Qing Liang, just play along a bit. If you reject me publicly, I'll lose too much face." Cheap pickup tactics. At least his looks weren't inferior to Luang's. I wasn't opposed. I definitely won't keep Luang anymore. Han Guanyin can be the next tool for release. Playing is fine, but I'm dominant by nature. I won't let anyone step on my head. I grabbed his collar. "I can agree to this, as long as you're willing to be my dog." The whole place went silent with fear. In terms of status, few people dared to mess with the Han family. Han Guanyin smiled and snatched the glass from my hand, downing it in one gulp. "It's a deal." Then his large palm gently caressed the back of my neck. 30 seconds later, at the music's climax, he bit down. Red wine tan trickled down my shirt collar, the white fabric revealing a patch of cherry blossom pink underneath. Han Guanyin's eyes went completely straight. "Presidential suite? Qin Liang, aren't you done with your shower yet?" With everything ready to go, I suddenly hesitated. If I exposed my body's secret in front of Han Guanyan, he'd have leverage over me from now on. 群了呀. Han Guanyan was urging me from outside the door. You said yourself you wanted me to be your dog. You're not backing out, are you? Backing out won't work anyway. You defiled my innocence in front of all those people. You have to take responsibility. This guy's weird too. What kind of rich young master begs to be someone's lapdog? My phone rang. It was Luang. Bro, why didn't you come to my birthday party yesterday? You didn't reply to any of my messages either. Did something happen? I was about to speak when Han Guanyan walked in. At 6'3", he could completely cover my 5'11" frame. Qinlia, what took you so long? As he rubbed against me, my bathrobe tie came undone. I shot Han Guanyan a cold look. He was deliberately provoking whoever was on the phone. Luang's tone immediately changed. Qinlan, do you have another dog now? I raised an eyebrow. Can't even recognize your own white moonlight's voice. Han Guanyan's movements became increasingly bold. My sensitive spots couldn't handle the teasing. One more step and my secret would be exposed. I gripped my phone in silence. The corners of my eyes gradually flushing red, my breathing erratic. Qinlia, why do I hear Han Guanyan's voice? Luang's voice turned completely cold. Where are you? Why are you with Han Guanyan? I sneered inwardly. Is Luang jealous of Han Guanyan? After all, Luang was always generous. He'd never been jealous of me before. Once at a business dinner, I was accidentally drugged by a male model. Somehow word got back to Luang. I was about to explain, but the Luang just said coolly, King Liang, I don't have the right to be jealous. As long as you keep a place for me in your heart, that's enough. Back then I praised him for being so understanding. Turns out he just didn't care about me. However I acted didn't matter to him. What should have been mutual desire felt forced, like swallowing a fly. It's not like I can't live without him. Since I started this relationship, I can end it too. I narrowed my eyes and announced to Luang, starting today, you're free. Without waiting for Luang's reaction, I hung up. Han Guanyan excitedly wagged his tail and immediately pounced, taking my earlobe in his mouth. Don't bother with irrelevant people. Today's our big day. Qinlia, try me out. I'm not worse than anyone. I stayed silent. I pushed open the bathrobe and pressed Han Guanyan down to his knees. Take a good look. Han Guanyan, I'm not like normal men. Han Guanyan's breathing clearly skipped a beat as he stared without blinking. Qinlia, how did I never notice before? Amazing, like a flower. My spine tingled as I frowned slightly. Kicked him. Seen enough. Han Guanyan gripped my knees with both hands, practically trying to burrow inside. Such bad manners. I grabbed his hair and yanked hard, forcing him to look at me. Han Guanyan, I'll ask you one more time. Do you want to be my lapdog? Luang bowed his head back, then because of resources and money. But Han Guanyan was a true golden boy. Someone like that wouldn't easily let me humiliate him, even if it was just lust at first sight, especially with my deformed body. Not everyone could accept it. Surprisingly, Han Guanyan showed no intention of retreating. Instead, like a dog that hadn't eaten meat in months, his eyes went red with hunger, his Adam's apple bobbing as he swallowed. Qinlia, am I the only one who gets to taste? Or can others too? I sneered to just nod, and you'll be the head dog. Han Guanyan had never served anyone before. His technique was terrible, just brute force. My vision went unfocused. I bit his shoulder and scolded him several times, but he didn't listen. Finally losing my temper, I kicked hard at Han Guanyan's shoulders. Voice hoarse, I warned. Keep pretending you don't understand, and there won't be a next time. Everyone knows the difference between one good meal and regular meals. Han Guanyan reluctantly finished. After cleaning up, he carried me back to bed and played with my fingers. After everything was satisfied, drowsiness hit, but Han Guanyan wouldn't let me sleep, asking Shaila. Qinlia, between me and Luang, who do you like more? I didn't want to compare them, so I humored Han Guanyan, despite my tiredness. Don't overthink it. You're the one by my side now. Han Guanyan was overjoyed, rubbing his messy curls against my neck. I work out regularly. My endurance and stamina are 1 in 10,000. Plus, I'll secretly tell you, today was actually my first time. I'm very virtuous. That did surprise me a bit. After all, Han Guanyan didn't seem like he lacked for company. He looked completely serious, really. Don't doubt me. I've always believed chastity is a man's best dowry. If Han Guanyan and I weren't just casual acquaintances, I'd almost suspect he had a secret crush on me and stayed pure for my sake. What am I thinking? Did Han Guanyan's attention make my brain go smooth too? Men will say any sweet talk in bed. I stopped wondering and ordered, shut up and sleep. Han Guanyan was too clingy. Every chance he got, he dragged me to the presidential suite. Having just gotten a taste, he was oversexed. I was exhausted trying to keep up, sleep deprived. Finally, when he went on a business trip, I returned to my usual penthouse and pushed open the door. Luang was on the sofa smoking, the ashtray beside him full of butts, his eyes bloodshot. Qinlia, you finally decided to come home. I walked closer without looking at him. I signed a check and tossed it to him. Name your price. Fill in whatever you want. Luang tore up the check and grabbed my wrist. Qinlia, what the hell do you mean? I slapped him back hard, my chest heaving. Luang, don't think I don't know what you've been up to. You've been intercepting my projects behind my back. I know every detail. You've gotten too big for your britches. Been wanting to fly solo for a while now, haven't you? Cut the act. Stop playing the victim. I've been turning a blind eye, but that doesn't make me a fool. Panic flashed in Luang's eyes. He never expected me to investigate him privately. Bro, it's not what you think. I wasn't trying to steal your business. I waited for Luang to explain, but he just mumbled. In the end, he couldn't give me a proper answer. I rubbed my temples. Whatever, I don't need those projects anyway. Consider it compensation for the 5 years you spent with me. From now on, we go our separate ways, like hell. Luang's face twisted with rage as he ripped open my collar, exposing the marks underneath. Liang, this is the real reason you want to break up with me. It's Han Guanyan. Why? Why does it have to be him? I watched coldly as Luang lost his mind. Hurts to know I got your precious first love, doesn't it? I mocked him mercilessly. Luang, there's a line of people out there dying to be my dog. You got a problem with that? Before I finished speaking, Luang grabbed me and threw me onto the couch. I crawled backward. Get off me, Luang! Luang had boxing training. He easily pinned my arms above my head, his rage almost tangible. After serving me for years, he instinctively lowered his head. Liang, you asked for this. I grabbed his hair with gritted teeth. Damn service type. I trained him too well all these years. My pants fell to the edge of the couch. My mind went blank. I didn't hold back and slapped him again. Luang, I'm really sick of you. Don't make me find you disgusting. Luang went pale, disbelieving. You're sick of me. 5 years ago, his family lost everything, and he was an unwanted bastard. To fight for the only house his mother left behind, he went around begging for money. When he was brought to me, he looked ready to bite someone. His jeans were faded from washing, his shoes yellowed no matter how much he scrubbed them. Standing in my luxurious office, his embarrassment was impossible to hide. I've never been a good person. Taking advantage of people's misfortune comes naturally to me. Luang, here's 10 million. More than enough to buy your mom's house. Luang glared at me fiercely, asking warily. What do I have to trade for it? You stay with me for a few years, until I get bored. What if you never get bored? I laughed and pointed out the window at the bustling CBD nightscape. You're pretty confident thinking I could never get bored of you. Luang finally realized that even though we were talking face to face, he was just a drop in my ocean, while I was his lifeline. My first time with Luang couldn't get the hang of it, and was almost in tears from frustration. I found it amusing. Such a big guy actually crying like a baby. 5 years later, Luang's tears fell into the hollow of my collarbone again. But his eyes were cold and sharp, full of emotions I couldn't understand. Liang, you're really heartless. I pushed him away, and put my pants back on. Luang, I'm not heartless. You are. Actually, there were signs all along. When Luang started traveling for business more, focusing on his company, planning behind my back, building his own network. His ambition grew bigger. His intentions were obvious to everyone. Later, Luang, who used to wag his tail waiting for me to come home, became CEO Lu, someone everyone feared and flattered. I don't blame him. People climb higher, water flows lower. When you reach a fork in the road, it's time to part ways. The news of my falling out with Luang spread like wildfire. Given his current status, no one dared gossip openly. Except Han Guanyan. At the business gala, Han Guanyan wore a white suit. Same style as mine, but different color. He toasted everyone he met. People who didn't know better would think we were getting engaged tonight. A friend came over asking, "What's the deal with you two?" I narrowed my eyes, silently warning Han Guanyan. Han Guanyan pouted, acting submissive and clingy. Yeah, I'm with CEO Qing now. The word with is subtle, usually used when big shots pay to keep their toys. Hearing this from the hair of Han Group was surreal. But he smiled sweetly, content to play second fiddle. No business talk today. I'm here as Qing Lian's date. No trace of the ruthless businessman. He was in Europe. I smiled as I watched Han Guanyan spin his tails. Everyone around us was already offering congratulations after his performance. CEO Qing and CEO Han are perfect for each other. Same social status, good looking too. When can we expect a wedding invitation? In the midst of celebration, I felt a piercing stare. I turned to see Luang in the corner, looking dark and dejected, much thinner, like a stray dog abandoned by its owner. Han Guanyan put his arm around my waist, making eye contact with Luang. The event building belonged to the Han family. After it ended, Han Guanyan and I went straight to the penthouse suite. As soon as we entered, Han Guanyan pressed me against the door, his teeth grazing my neck. Qing Liang, didn't you say I was your only dog? A little drunk, my shameless desires surfaced. I lazily narrowed my eyes. Stop talking and kiss me. Han Guanyan was impatient tonight. We didn't make it to the bed, the door shaking from the impact. Qing Liang, feels good, right? I'm the best, aren't I? He was loud and shameless, deliberately performing for whoever was outside. Through the door, I heard muffled sobs escaping from someone's throat. Luang had seen this day coming. In his second year with Qing Liang, he accidentally learned about Han Guanyan's existence. Back then his company was just starting. He was full of ambition. He fantasized about one day standing openly beside Qing Liang. He was smart and hardworking, riding Chun Liang's coattails to success, until an overseas project was suddenly squeezed out by major companies, leaving him bankrupt overnight. Luang drank until he had stomach bleeding before getting any information. Han Guanyin from Han Group had personally targeted him. Luang quickly found out why. Han Guanyin had been beaten half to death by his father and exiled to Europe because his feelings for Qinlan had been exposed. That night, Luang got an international call. Han Guanyin's voice crackled through the static. Luang, I know you. You were that famous scholarship kid at our school. Qinlian only picked you because he thought you'd be easy to control. If I hadn't run into trouble, where would you be? Arrogant and malicious. Luang clenched his fists, suppressing his panic. So what? Han Guanyin, some people miss their chance and never get another. Han Guanyin laughed at this, laughed until he cried. Miss my chance. Only unworthy people talk about fate. The bond between Qinglian and me will never break. Luang, just live in fear and wait for the day you completely lose him. Later, Luang discovered more about their past. Qinglian and Han Guanyin were childhood friends until Qinglian nearly drowned and Han Guanyin saved him. A high fever that summer made Qinglian forget Han Guanyin. Luang even found a photo of teenage Qinglian kissing Han Guanyin's cheek. His heart was soaked in ice, aching all over. Years of twisted fear began festering. Han Guanyin's curse was burned into his soul. Luang was the first to know when Han Guanyin returned. Those projects he intercepted were all connected to the Han family. He was a coward. He didn't want King Liang and Han Guanyin to have any chance to meet. Luang kept having the same dream. He dreamed he was a lowly thief coveting someone else's treasure, cornered on a cliff by its rightful owner. He tried to call for help, but no sound came out. Qinliang stood not far away, just one step away, cold and detached as always, treating him like a dog as always. Luang, I got my memory back. The wind howled as Luang fell, broken and bloody. On his 28th birthday, he was consumed by overwhelming fear. Qingliang gave him 5 years, but he still had no title, just a shameful bed partner. Qingliang had high needs and high standards. These past few years I've been a devoted lapdog without a break. I was terrified Qingliang would get sick of me. These words trembled from his lips. He never imagined this day would come so fast. Qingliang didn't even need to recover his memory to get back with Han Guanyin. The pleasure sounds from inside completely destroyed Luang. He collapsed to his knees, the world going gray, letting out a hoarse, agonized cry for help. Luang felt like he was back to having nothing. Standing before Qingliang as a broken man, Qingliang could give him money back then, but he couldn't give him love now. After all, how can you give what you don't have? Rain poured down. Luang walked into it, oblivious. Lightning flashed, illuminating his terrifying expression. A few days later, just as I got to the parking garage, my left eyelid started twitching like crazy. Then everything went black and I passed out. I woke up in a windowless basement. I was tied up, strapped to a frame with my limbs spread wide. Luang sat across from me, his long bangs covering his eyes. Qinlian, you and Han Guanyin went at least 5 rounds that night. Sweat beaded in my palms. I couldn't read Luang's intentions. Luang, kidnapping is illegal. Luang ignored me and continued. You were already sick of me, already wanted to be with Han Guanyin. Makes sense. I'm just a dog. How could I compete with your first love? I was stunned, forgetting to struggle. Wait, isn't Han Guanyin your first love? Luang sneered with disgust, his cold lips brushing my cheek. Are you trying to make me sick on purpose? I want to puke just hearing his name. What right does he have to touch you? His family doesn't even like you. What gives him the right to compete with me? Luang's state seemed genuine. Looking back, the private room was noisy that night. I didn't hear everything clearly. It seems like I misunderstood and got the wrong information. Up close, Luang looked insane, completely irrational. Qinliang, you know what? Abandonment is an unforgivable sin. My temples throbbed. I had a bad feeling. Luang, this is all a misunderstanding. Let me go. I won't tell anyone about today. Luang was a businessman who weighed pros and cons. He wouldn't destroy his future. I'd never used such a soft voice in my life. But Luang was eerily calm, not listening to a word. He turned and poured a drink, dropping pills in it right in front of me. My eyes went wide with horror. You maniac, that's the strongest aphrodisiac. One wrong move and it could kill someone. You're actually going to make me drink it. The next second, Luang drained it himself, wickedly licking his lips. Who said it was for you? I was completely stunned. Luang pulled out a dog collar hidden under his clothes, freed my hands. He placed the cold collar in my hands. Qinliang, I learned lots of new tricks this time. I promise not to bore you. Soon after, Luang was burning up, kneeling on the wool carpet. He hugged my legs desperately, like a rabid dog craving fresh meat. I looked around. The room had plenty of food, signal jammers, various exquisite toys on the walls, even a disturbing rabbit costume. Qinliang, didn't you used to love me the most? Luang's forehead broke out in sweat, his eyes bloodshot red, rubbing against my leg, struggling to hold himself back. If I don't help him now, he'll really die. I can't just stand by and watch him die. I tightened the dog chain and bit down with anger. but deep down, a strange excitement was surging. Luang, you really are a complete mad dog. 7 days and 7 nights later, the door was violently broken open. Han Guanyin stormed in, his anger barely contained. My eyes were unfocused, the rabbit ears on my head, tilted to one side. Han Guanyin pulled Luang away and pinned him to the ground, beating him mercilessly. How dare you? Luang! I'll kill you. I swear I'll kill you. Han Guanyin and Luang wrestled together in a tangled mess. I gathered myself, stepped barefoot on the floor, and put on a bathrobe. The marks on my body had been disappearing and reappearing over the past few days, deep and shallow, layered upon layered. Horrifying to look at. Stop fighting, you two. I stepped over the props scattered on the floor, walked forward, and irritably kicked each of them. I saw stars and swayed left and right. Han Guanyin looked at me with heart touch and nervously lifted me up in his arms. Xiaolian, don't be afraid. I'll take you to the hospital right now. A flash of recognition crossed my mind, and I felt groggily. I feel like I've heard that nickname somewhere before. Luang followed us, his lips bloody and pale. Seeing daylight again, I realized this was a mountain villa at the top of a winding mountain road. I was placed in the back seat and grabbed Han Guanyin's shirt. Bring Luang too. He needs to see a doctor as well. What could be wrong with him? He hit me with the strength of a bull, and I'm still hurting. Han Guanyin was furious, glaring at Luang, but quickly gave in to get down the mountain faster. I leaned against the car window, breathing in short gasps, and glanced at Luang beside me. He stared straight at me, his mental state unnaturally disturbed. How had I never noticed before that in these 5 years with me, he seemed to be doing poorly. I was slowly killing him. Luang, are you doing this on purpose? Before I could finish speaking, the mountain road was slippery, the wheels lost control, and we crashed hard into the slope beside us. Luang's eyes went wide with terror as he threw himself over me, shielding me with his body. Sharp pain shot through the back of my head, and blood blurred my vision. I fell into a world of pure darkness. When I woke up again, I was in the Han family's private hospital. Han Guanyin was sitting by the bed, holding my hand, his face full of joy. You're finally awake. The doctor said you had a concussion. You scared me to death. It's all my fault. I should have called for a helicopter right then. Where's Luang? Is Luang okay? Han Guanyin's expression stiffened for a moment, then turned sarcastic. He's lucky to be alive. Just broke his hand. Xiaolian, I'm hurt too. Why don't you care about me at all? I sighed and cupped Han Guanyin's face, studying it carefully. How come you look different from when we were in middle school? That red mole at the corner of your eye looks so alluring. You used to be such a sunny, cheerful guy. Han Guanyin's pupils dilated in shock, and after a long moment, his eyes grew moist. Xiaolian, you remember everything. The crash brought back my memories of the past. Back then, Han Guanyin and I were at that innocent, naive age. The most we ever did was hold hands. Later I fell into the water and had a high fever, losing my memory. While Han Guanyin risked his life to save me, accidentally exposing his feelings, and was sent to another city until he got into college and came back. He wanted to take things slow, but watched helplessly as another person appeared by my side. Han Guanyin was insanely jealous. His years of pretending finally snapped. This time, his parents were furious beyond belief. Little did they know that Han Guanyin's feelings for me hadn't faded, but had become an obsession over the years. Han Guanyin could withstand beatings, but he couldn't stand seeing me hurt. The moment he was beaten half to death and threatened, he made up his mind to fight and take what he wanted, to become someone at the top with real power. Han Guanyin's path was tough. In a foreign country, he found psychological balance by sabotaging Luang. He stubbornly believed I was a kite, and no matter how high I flew, the string was always in his hands. But he was just fooling himself. A kite's string can't last forever. It has an expiration date, just like how he never discovered my body's secret. That secret had been exclusively owned by someone else for 5 years. Han Guanyin gently buried his head against my chest, his voice strangely sorrowful. Xiaolian, if only time could turn back. I found it amusing and patted his head. You're a grown man. Stop acting cute. Luang stood in the doorway, watching us. Han Guanyin told me to rest well and motioned for Luang to come out for a private chat. I grabbed Han Guanyin and specifically warned him, don't hit him, he's still sick. Han Guanyin stayed silent, turning away in a huff. Xiaolian, the more you say that, the harder I'll beat him. Luang was discharged before me, and came every day to personally make soup and bring it all, sometimes running into Han Guanyin, who couldn't help but mock him. CEO Lu is so cheap, only bringing this kind of bargain stuff. Luang didn't argue back, just fed me soup spoonful by spoonful. Come to think of it, he learned to cook from me. When we first got together, I had stomach problems, and he went to great lengths to help me recover. Luang, I owe you a thank you. After all this, I realized how unfair what I'd done to Luang had been. Luang looked at me with bright black eyes. Qin Liang, you've always given me so much. I'm the one who's been greedy. He put down the bowl, and his watch slipped down, revealing new wounds, circular burn scars, spreading out like ripples of pain. My heart clenched as I grabbed Luang's hand. I wanted to suggest he see a therapist, but didn't know how to bring it up. I spoke carefully. Luang, you're free. No one has the right to hurt you. Does anyone even care? Luang gave a light, self-mocking laugh. Qinliang, I'm an unwanted bastard child. My mom was driven to jump in the river by gossip on my 10th birthday. Little Luang held his mother's body, so overwhelmed with grief that he couldn't even cry a single tear. The neighbors pointed at him and whispered, calling him a heartless monster. In the dead of night, Luang curled up in bed as the unbearable cold rain seeped into his bones. He shivered, thinking there was no one to tuck him in, no one who would love him unconditionally anymore. So he covered his face with his hands and cried his heart out. This year was his 28th birthday. That night he had planned to work up the courage to confess, but fate didn't favor him. He was abandoned once again. All his climbing up was just a pipe dream. The rain from when his mother died had been falling in his world ever since, never stopping. Han Gangguanyan was right. He deserve. Qingling didn't deserve La Wang An. I woke up from my sleep with a start. It was raining outside, with lightning and thunder. When Luang left, he said something. Qingliang, you know what I really want. My heart stung, and I realized I had an undeniable responsibility for how things had gotten to this point. Because of that, we needed more time to think things through calmly. I couldn't promise him anything right now, so I just silently watched him leave. My heart was pounding, and I couldn't fall back asleep. Feeling uneasy, I called Han Guanyan. Is Luang safe at home? Han Guanyan came from a tech background, so I had asked him to plant surveillance software on Luang's phone. Han Guanyan was still at the office working overtime, pretty annoyed. What could happen to him? He's just putting on a pity act for you. Wait, is he nuts? Why is he going to Clearwater Bridge in the middle of the night? Clearwater Bridge? Han Guanyan's tone grew serious. He's been standing on the bridge for 10 minutes now. I grabbed my car keys and headed out, telling Han Guanyan to keep investigating to confirm my suspicion. 3 minutes later, Han Guanyan found out. Clearwater River is where his mother jumped. The bridge was old and run down. The rusty metal mixed with the smell of rain made me feel sick. Luang was leaning against the bridge railing, swaying in the rain like a scene from an old silent film. I slammed the car door and stumbled toward him. Luang turned around mechanically. Qinlin, don't come any closer. The rain soaked through my clothes, clinging to my skin with an inescapable chill. Afraid of provoking him, I tried to chat in as gentle a tone as possible. Luang, come here. Let me take you home, okay? Luang seemed out of it, like a wisp of mist about to drift away. I don't have a home. Where would I even have a home? Qinliang, don't worry. My mom is here. I'm just visiting her. He muttered to himself, looking toward the river. I seized the moment and threw myself at him, holding him tight. My anxious heart finally settled. Luang, you still have me. You've always had me. If you absolutely need a reason to live, then I can be that reason. Luang said in confusion. Mom once read me The Little Prince. She said if you form bonds with others, you risk having to shed tears. Qingliang, is it raining too hard? Or are you crying for me? I bit down on his collarbone and said fiercely, I'm not crying. Luang, I'm taking you home. Light flickered in Luang's eyes as he obediently let me lead him away. He told me very quietly, Qingla, I don't want freedom. I just want you to keep holding the leash. Luang had to stay in a treatment facility for a long time. Mental illness is more serious than physical illness. I actively stayed with him for treatment. Han Guanyan came to visit once, grinding his teeth. You're so despicable, using this method to threaten Qingliang. You never really planned to jump, did you? Luang lifted his eyelids and gave him a cool glance. What do you think? Han Guanyan wouldn't give up. I haven't lost. Even if Qing Xiaolian has feelings for you, he still likes me too. Han Guanyan and Luang had made a bet about who carried more weight in my heart. In the end, this war had no winner. I rubbed my forehead helplessly. Stop arguing. You're both my good little puppies. Behave. The next second, Han Guanyan and Luang looked at each other and reached some kind of strange understanding. I didn't get it then, but I understood much later. That the roles of prey and hunter had switched. I'd become the lamb for slaughter. A year later, I was taking a shower in the bathroom when Han Guanyan burst in. Qing Xiaolian, we agreed Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are mine. Today should be my turn, shouldn't it? My legs were shaking, and I felt weak. Do you even hear what you're saying? Today is Sunday. Even farm animals get weekends off, but I don't get a single day of rest. No way, not today. I need to rest. Luang leaned against the doorway, also looking a bit eager. Qinliang, I made you soup. Drink it and you'll recover all your energy. I backed away step by step, tumbled into the bathtub, and swallowed nervously in fear. Why are you two so worked up lately? Like wild animals in spring. Han Guanyan's eyes burned with passion as he pressed his palm against my stomach. Qing Xiaolian, can you get pregnant? I frowned. That's ridiculous. How's that even possible? Luang gripped my chin, saying obsessively, if we water you plenty at night, and you get pregnant, you'll never be able to escape. You'll belong to me forever. Han Guanyan protested. Ha! Whose baby it would be is still up in the air. Though I'm intersex, my organs are naturally defective, so having kids is completely impossible. I protested in terror. I really can't have children. Luang and Han Guanyan exchanged glances and said with certainty, that's because we haven't been trying hard enough. Later, water splashed and waves crashed everywhere.